Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. Today we begin a new text, Shri Rama Geeta. Shri Rama is well known as perfection personified. He was an ideal son, ideal brother, ideal disciple, ideal husband, ideal friend. But what is not known much is about him being a spiritual teacher as well. Shri Krishna is well known because he gave the teachings to Arjuna in the form of Bhagavad Gita. But about the Shri Rama Geeta, not many people know about. This comes in the Uttarkanda of Adhyatma Ramayana, 6th chapter in the Uttarkanda of Adhyatma Ramayana of Veda Vyasa. In a quiet mood, once Lakshmana approached Shri Ram, and then he asked him about morality, the beauty and ugliness inherent in the acts that a man can do and undertakes to do. In response to this question from Lakshmana, the discourse that was given out by Shri Rama is what has come as Shri Rama Geeta. So this Shri Rama Geeta, now the background story everybody is familiar with. After Shri Ram returns from Sri Lanka, he rescues his wife Sita from Ravana. Ravana is killed and they return to Ayodhya. Having returned to Ayodhya, he again takes up the administration of his kingdom, Ayodhya. But then he had to banish his pregnant wife Sita to the forest. Now this particular episode that comes in Ramayana, many people say that what Rama did was not right. So what if a Dhobi said something to his wife that you have said somewhere and I can't accept you, I am not Ram to accept you. So what does it matter? Because Shri Ram knew very well that his wife Sita was chaste and pure. There was no doubt about that. So many people will question his act of banishing her to the forest, that too when she was pregnant. But then what people forget is he was not an ordinary citizen of Ayodhya. He was the king of Ayodhya. And kings during those days were servants of their praja, the citizens of Ayodhya. And as a king, he has to pay attention to everything. And therefore, though as a husband, as a human being and a husband, he would not have banished her. But as a king, he had to banish her. A painful decision to take for him, but he had to take. There are many episodes that come in Ramayana where questions are raised. One episode comes when Sita is kidnapped and they go looking for her, and then Sugriva comes for help from Rama because this Bali, King Bali had taken away his wife. So then there is an episode because King Bali, whoever fights with him, the opponent's strength becomes half and this fellow's strength becomes double. So anybody who goes to fight with Bali, his own strength will become half and Bali's strength will become double. So literally no one can defeat him. So there is an episode where Lord Rama tells Sugriva to fight with Bali, and then at an opportune time, Lord Rama will kill Bali. So then Lord Rama kills him, but hiding behind a tree, he shoots the arrow that kills Bali. So Bali has a question to Rama. What was the need for you to hide and shoot and kill me? And if you had a problem with Ravana, I could have sorted it out. I could have got your wife Sita from Ravana and I could have easily killed Ravana. And as a Kshatriya, you cannot attack from behind like that, hiding. So what wrong have I done that you shot me like that? Then Rama tells him that what wrong you have done is that you have usurped somebody's wife. Sugriv's wife you usurped. That is what the wrong you have done. So then Bali tells him that I am not Nara, I am Vanara. So among the Vanaras, we have no such rules. We have no such moral rules. We can take anyone, we can take anybody's wife and all that thing. We have no such rules because I am not Nara, I am Vanara. I am among the animals. Then Lord Rama tells him, if you are Vanara, you are not Nara. If you are Vanara, animals are always hunted by hiding from behind. So these sort of things are there. Then somebody raises question, where was the need for Ram to hide and shoot him and all that? He could have shot him like that. So the stories are like that. But the background should be understood properly. Why a person takes such actions, not out of some other motive, but out of necessity. But then it has to be taken. Sometimes some painful decisions are to be taken. One may not like it. And this decision of banishing Sita to the forest was a painful one for Lord Rama. As a husband, as a human being, as a husband, it was painful. But as a king, he had to do it. He had no choice. So, then this Shri Rama Geeta, actually the entire Ramayana is recited, is told by Mahadeva, Shiva, to Parvati. Because Shiva, Lord Shiva is an ardent devotee of Vishnu or Shri Rama. And similarly, of course, Lord Shiva always resides in the heart of Rama. They are devotees of each other. So, and that is his favorite theme also, Lord Shiva's, Rama. So he is reciting, he is telling this story to Parvati. And that is how we hear about the entire Ramayana. And Parvati Mata is also eager to know how did Lord Rama, Shri Rama, led his life after banishing his pregnant wife to the forest. How did he lead his life in Ayodhya? So she is also curious to know what happened to Rama. How did he live after that? What was his state? So this entire episode, the dialogue between Rama and Lakshmana, in the form of Shri Rama Geeta, the discourse that is given by Lord Rama to the question of Lakshmana is all given by, told by Mahadev, or Lord Shiva, to his consort Parvati. So this is the theme of this Rama Geeta, and it's a beautiful text. And in this text also, what is expounded upon, the theme that is there in all the scriptures, Upanishads also, that is the pure self, the reality. That is what is expounded here also. That is the theme of Rama Gita also. That which is the essence of all of us. That which is the true nature of ourself. So that is what is expounded here in this. It's a beautiful text. Moreover, the Shri Rama Gita is also called as Shruti Sara Sangraha. Shruti Sara Sangraha because it is also a Vedantic text. And therefore, it is for Vedantic students who have done some study of other texts also, the Prakarana Granthas. So this is for those students who have already done some study in Vedantic texts, not a novice who has never studied any scriptures at all. Rama, the name itself, brings to us an ideal. Rama comes from the Sanskrit Ramate Sarva Bhuteshu Sthavareshu Chareshu Cha. That means that which revels in every form, sentient or insentient, living or non-living, in every form it revels. Because that alone exists, that is the all-pervading factor, all-pervading essence of everything. Now, before we begin this text, Shri Rama Gita, there is Rama Gita Mahatmyam also is there. Shri Rama Gita Mahatmyam. These are the words of Brahmaji to Narada, Narad Muni, and told by Sutji. Some of the shlokas of this Rama Gita Mahatmyam we'll see, they are interesting. We'll not take the whole thing. A few shlokas are there. Shri Rama Gita Mahatmyam Krusnam Janati Shankara Tadardham Girija Vetti Tadardham Vedmyaham Mune. So, Sutji is telling that is Rama Gita Mahatmyam, Lord Shiva, Shankara, he knows it elaborately, lucidly, in great detail, which was told to Girija, which I have known. And he says that Tatte Kinchit Pravakshami Krutsnam Vaktum Na Sakyate. So, Krusnam Janati Shankara Krusnam Vaktum Na Sakyate. So, Kinchit Pravakshami, that I will tell you in brief. Kinchit Pravakshami, I will tell you in brief, because I cannot tell you elaborately, very lucidly, in great detail, as Lord Shiva knows, Lord Shankara knows. And then he says, Yajnatva Takshanat Lokaha Chitta Shuddham Avapnuyat. Having known which, that moment itself, our chitta will become Shuddha, the antakarana will become purified. The mind will become purified. Yajnatva, having known that, tat kshanat lokah chitta shuddham avapnuya. So that moment itself, having known this, it will purify our mind. So something that can purify our mind, that is very dear to us. As a spiritual seeker, it is very important. And then the reasons why it can purify our mind, he gives further. Here it says that Shri Rama Geeta yat papam na nashayati naradaha tanna nashyati tirthadav loke kwapi kadachana. So if Ram Gita cannot destroy a particular sin, no pilgrimage etc. can destroy that sin then. So Shri Rama Geeta yat papam na nashayati. If Ram Gita cannot destroy any particular sin, hey Narada, then that sin cannot be destroyed by any pilgrimage or any other means also. Loke kwapi kadachana. So this Rama Gita was given as Lakshmanaya arpitam Gita Sudham Pitva Amaro Bhavet. This was given to Lakshmana, his brother, this Gita Sudha, the nectar of this Gita, having drunk Pitva, having drunk Amaro Bhavet, one becomes immortal. So Lakshmanaya arpitam Gita Sudham Pitva Amaro Bhavet. Then Brahma Hatyadi Papanam Nishkrutim Yadi Vanchati Rama Gita Masatrayam Patitva Muchate Naraha. So there are certain things which are ghor papa. Without experiencing the negative results of that action, that will not get away. So we have to experience that, and then only we'll be relieved from that. We'll be released from that sin. So even sins like Brahma Hatyadi Papanam Niskrutim Yadi Vanchasi. If one wants to get released from this Brahma Hatya, etc., such ghor papa, killing of Brahmin, and so on, Rama Gita Masatrayam Patitva Muchate Naraha. If one recites or chants this Rama Gita continuously for 3 months, one can even get relieved from this sin, can get freedom from this particular sin of like Brahma Hatya. There are many types of sin where there are prayaschitta is there. Of course, for Brahma Hatya also there is prayaschitta. Go Hatya there is prayaschitta. Brahma Hatya there is prayaschitta. And doing that prayaschitta, we get relieved from that sin or the ill effects of that sin. There is one particular sin where there is no prayaschitta. One has to suffer the consequences of that particular sin. And that is Bhruna Hatya. Bhruna Hatya means abortion. Abortion has got no prayaschitta. So if somebody has done abortion, one has to undergo the effects of that, the negative effects of that has to. Because why this Go Hatya has got prayaschitta or Brahman Hatya has got prayaschitta, but this Bhruna Hatya has got no prayaschitta? Because Go Hatya, a cow is there. If somebody goes to kill that cow, a cow can run also. Cow can defend oneself for some time in some way, or run away. If cannot defend itself, it can run away. Something like that can be done. Somebody goes to kill a Brahmin, either he can defend himself if he is strong enough, or he can run away. The two options are there. And still if he gets killed, that's a different thing. But Bhruna Hatya or abortion, that is killing in the womb, where that jiva has no chance of defending itself nor running away. So that sin has got no prayaschitta. That if that sin is committed, one has to suffer the consequences of that sin. So, Brahma Hatyadi Papa Nam Nishkuting Yadi Vanchasi, Rama Geeta Masatrayam Patitva Muchate Narah. So, 3 months continuously, if this Rama Geeta is done, even this Ghor Papa like Brahma Hatya, etc., one can get relief from that also. Then, Dushpratigraha, Durbojha, Dushpratigraha, Durbojha, Duralapadi Sambhavam, Papam Yattat Kirtanena Rama Gita Vinashaye. Then other types of sins like Dushpratigraha. Dushpratigraha means misappropriation, taking somebody's property which doesn't belong to us and all that. Durbojha, that is partaking of something which is Varjita, which is against the scriptures. So that is Durbojha. And Duralapa, etc. Duralapa means abuses or cursing somebody or abusing somebody. This Duralapa, telling something which can hurt someone. So that is called as Duralapa, etc. So sins of these kinds, Sambhavam, if that has happened, so these kind of Papam, Yat Kirtanena Rama Gita Vinashayat. Just by this singing this Rama Gita, Kirtanena Vinashayat, praising or glorifying this Rama Gita, such sins are also washed away, cleaned away, Vinashayat or destroyed. So these kind of sins can happen, Dushpatigraha, Durbojha, Duralapa, etc. like that. These kind of sins can also happen because as human beings, we interact with people and sometimes when we lose our temper, then what comes out of our mouth, we are not aware of. And then when the event is over, then we sit and regret. We shouldn't have said like that. But already the words have gone out. It cannot come back. So if such things have happened, this glorifying Rama Gita, Kirtanena, that can be destroyed. So, Vina Danam, Vina Dhyanam, Vina Tirthavagahanam, Rama Gitam Narodhitya, Narah Aditya, Tad Ananta Phalam Labe. So, without the recourse to giving lots of charity, Dana Dakshina, Vina Dhanam, Vina Dhyanam, without meditation, without going to any pilgrimage, Rama Gitam Narah Aditya. If a man, he studies this Rama Gita, then Rama Gita Narah Aditya Tat Ananta Phalam Labhe. Then the infinite result, infinite fruit can be attained. Infinite fruit is what? Knowing our own self. The study of Rama Gita, Narah Aditya. The one who studies this Rama Gita attains that infinite result, infinite fruit. Yassa vijnana matrena vanchitartha phalam labhe. Just by the knowledge of this Rama Gita, whatever desired fruit, desired results can be attained. So these are some of the benefits of studying, reciting, chanting, glorifying Rama Gita. This is in Shri Rama Geeta Mahatmyam, and it comes in Brahmanda Purane, Uttarakhande, Adhyatma Ramayana Mahatme, Ekasishtame, Sarge, Shri Rama Geeta Mahatmyam Samaptam. So this comes in this Brahmanda Purane. This is how this Rama Gita is glorified, and this is what we will study now. This is an interesting text. Again, here also, Lord Rama is disposed to Lakshmana, expounds on that self. Truth being the same, truth being one, truth being the same, there is nothing new. Because if truth is one, in every text the same thing will be thought of, and that which is taught, it will be, maybe the method may be different, the approach may be different, but it is the same truth, nothing else. So that alone he teaches Lakshmana. So we will begin this text with the first shloka. Shri Mahadeva Vacha. Tato jaganmangalamangalatmanam vidhaya ramayana kirtimuttamam chachara purvacharitam raghuttamaham rajarishvaryairavisevitam yatham. Shri Mahadeva Vacha. Tatah jaganmangala mangalatmana vidhaya ramayana kirtim uttamam chachara purvacharitam raghuttamah rajarshi varyaihi abhisevitam yatha. So now Shri Mahadev Vacha. Now Mahadev is speaking. So this is Mahadev is speaking in response to the question asked by Parvati. That is, after Lord Rama banishes his pregnant wife to the forest, how did he live his life in Ayodhya? What did he do? How did he live? So here now Mahadev is answering that question. Tataha, thereafter. Then this, who is this Rama? Raghuttamaha, best among the Raghu Vamsha, best among the Raghu dynasty, the Raghuttama. And he is also the hero of Ramayana, Ramayana Kirtim Uttamam. So he is the hero of Ramayana also, the entire story, and he is the best among the Raghus, Raghuttama. So how did he live? So to ever bless the world, Jagat Mangalam, Mangala Mangalatmana. So to bless this world of creatures, he then organized his Chachara Purva Acharitam Raghuttamaha. So all those kings before him in his dynasty, what did they do? After finishing their duties as a king, then they also took to the tapas. That acharana, all his earlier, his ancestors in the same kula, same dynasty, they took to that, and Rajarshi Varyaihi Abhisevitam Yatha. And like all those Rajarshis, the royal sages, how they lived their life, how they did the tapas, same thing Lord Rama also undertook. So he began living after finishing his duties as the king. He is to spend his time in tapas, as the royal sages in his own dynasty did earlier times. Purvarchitam. And this Rama is the best among the Raghu Vamshas. So this is how he lived his life. This is in response to the question asked by Parvati to Mahadev. Now, though he lived in all the luxuries of the royal palace, after finishing his duty, he devoted his rest of his time only in his tapas. That is how all his earlier kings in his dynasty lived, and they became the royal sages, Rajarshi. Now, having said that, in the second shloka, Saumitrina Prushta Udara Buddhina Rama Katha Praha Puratani Shubha Rajnya Pramattasya Nrugasya Shapatah Vijasya Tirya Katvam Katvamatha Raghavah. Saumitrina Prushta Udara Buddhina Rama Katha Praha Puratani Shubha Rajnyah Pramattasya Nrugasya Shapatah Dijasya Tiryakatvam Atha aha raghava. Now, Saumitra is the son of Sumitra, that is Lakshmana. So, Prushta. So, as having requested by this Lakshmana requested Rama and Udara Buddhina, the large-hearted Rama, Katha Praha Puratani Shubha. He told Lakshmana many ancient stories. They were all auspicious, graceful stories. And from these stories, we can learn many things. Many values can be learned from that. As a student of, as a spiritual seeker and student of Vedanta, these are very important things to learn the values that as a seeker we have to imbibe in ourselves. So Lord Rama told Lakshmana, the son of Sumitra, many ancient stories. Among those stories was one story, Rajnya Pramattasya Nrugasya Shapataha. So a story of King Nruga. We told the story of this King Nruga. What is the story of this King Nruga? King Nruga used to distribute cattle on all auspicious occasions to the learned Pandits and poor Brahmins. This was his habit. Because those days, cattle was the wealth. So, kings had thousands and thousands of cattle. So, every auspicious occasion, they will give this distributed to among the wise people, the learned Pandits, and also poor Brahmins also they will give like that. So, on one such occasion, one old Brahmin was also given some cattle, some cows, and while he was driving those cows home, one of the cows left the herd and then went and mingled with thousands of cows of the king, King Nruga. Now we have got lakhs of cows. Now this one cow went and mingled in that. And how would the king know? And then another occasion came, auspicious occasion came. At that time again, he started distributing cows among the learned people, learned Pandits and the poor Brahmins. So this old Brahmin was also present at that time. And he saw that the cow that was given to him, the same cow he spotted there, and that was given by the king to someone else. Now, obviously, it is very clear that it is no fault of the king. How would the king know? Lakhs and lakhs of cows are there. And how will he identify which cow was given to whom and whether they ran away and got mingled with these cows? And what will do? But the Brahmin was very sharp. He spotted the very cow that was given to him and then joined the king's herd. And now the king is giving the same cow to someone else, gifting it to someone else. So that was, you cannot call an error, but that was unknowingly that happened. King didn't know what was happening. How could he know about it? But then this Brahmin didn't spare him. He cursed him. He cursed him, and then because of that curse, he became a chameleon. Tiryakatvam atha aharaghava. He became a chameleon. Because of the curse of that Brahmin, this King Nruga became chameleon. Now, can we say that it was King Nruga's fault that a cow that was given to someone and again he gave the same cow to some other fellow? How would he know? So this happened unknowingly. In ignorance, unknowingly it happened. He didn't know about it. Had he known, would he have given like that? He would have kept it separately and then given it to the old Brahmin to whom he had given. So always in ignorance only things happen. And here there is no fault at all. If you look at the things, there is no fault of King Nruga. But then it happened. And probably there may be some relationship with Lord Rama's own story also. It is no fault of him, and yet he had to banish his wife, the forest, that to a pregnant wife to the forest. So many a times it happens. Everything happens in ignorance. Unknowingly it happens. But in Rama's story also, in this particular story, it is no fault of Nuga, because how would he ever know? Thousands and thousands of cows are there, lakhs of cows are there, and one cow runs away from somebody whom he has gifted, and it comes and joins his own herd. How will he know? But yet, the Brahmin cursed him, and he became a chameleon. So, Pramatyasya Nugasya Shapatah Dvijasya. Dvija, the Brahmin, Tiryakatvam Atharagava, and he became chameleon. So these are the type of stories that were told. So these stories also, we come to learn values. 2-3 things we learn. Sometimes we have to suffer, no fault of ours, and yet we have to suffer. And this happens sometimes, and we have no choice. And through this story also he said, and Prabhu Ramchandraji's own story also comes there. No fault of his, he has to suffer. No fault of his, Sita Maya had to suffer. And this is how it goes on. So everything is not always the way it has to be. Now, having said that, this story he told, then every time Lakshmana comes and sits when he is free and Rama is free, he comes and sits, and then Rama used to tell him some different kinds of stories, ancient stories like that. Then we move on to the third shloka. Kadachidekant upasthitam prabhum Ramam Ramalalitapad pankajam Saumitra Sadatita Shuddha Bhavanah Pranamya Bhaktya Vinyan Vito Bravit Kadachit Ekanta upasthitam prabhum Ramam Ramalalita Pada pankajam Saumitra Asadita Shuddha Bhavanah Pranamya Bhaktya Vinyan Vitah Abravit. So Kadachit Ekanta Upasitam Prabhu. So once it so happened that after finishing all his administrative duties, Lord Rama, he sat in the garden alone, Ekanta. And this Saumitra, the son of Sumitra, Lakshmana, at this time, he approached him, Upasthitam Kadachit Ekanta Upasthitam Prabhu Rama Ramalalita Pada Pankajam. Ramalalita Pada Pankajam means whose feet is adored by Lakshmi. So when he found Lord Rama was sitting all alone, so the son of Sumitra, Lakshmana, so Asadita, whose heart was purified here. So Saumitra Asadita Shuddha Bhavanaha. So his heart was purified. Now we have to understand this. Lakshmana was also with Rama for 14 years of Vanvasa. This 14 years of Vanvasa was a tapasya, was a tapa for Lakshmana also. During those 14 years, he had attained because he served Lord Rama in his life's work, and he attained a great deal of purification of his mind through this selfless service to his own brother. And tremendous amount of control over his senses and his mind. So he was an apt disciple, a well-qualified disciple. And actually, the teachers, spiritual teachers, they are very joyful and very happy when such a well-qualified disciple comes to them. So such a well-qualified adhikari, well-qualified disciple was Saumitra, that is Sumitra's son Lakshmana. So with Shuddha Bhavana, Pranamya Bhaktya Vinyanvita Abravit. Pranamya, he prostrates, does pranams, prostrating to Lord Rama with devotion, bhaktya, vinayanvita, humbly, with humility. That is very important. And then he says, so if you are spiritual seekers, these qualities have to be imbibed. Humility, humbleness, no ego, arrogance should not be there. Ego may be there because ego is yet to be dissolved. So ego is very much there, but at least arrogance should not be there. Humbleness and humility has to be there. So these were the qualities in him, and that is how he has approached. It is not that anyway, he is my brother anyway, so I can approach. Hi, Bhaiya, what are you up to? Can I ask you a question? Not that way. So that reverence is there. And why he approached that way with humility and devotion, that is told in the 4th shloka. So he knows who Tattvata Lord Rama is. His elder brother Rama is. Who he is, he knows very well. So in the 4th shloka, he reveals, Tvam Shuddha Bodhosi Sarvadehinam Atmasya Dhishosi Nirakruti Swayam Pratiyase Jnana Drusham Mahamate Padabja Bhunga Hitasanga Sanginam Tvam Shuddha Bodha Asi Hi Sarvadehinam Atma Asi Adhishah Asi Nirakrutihi Swayam Pratiyase Jnana Drusham Mahamate Padabja Bhrungahita Sanga Sangina. So now Lakshmana tells his brother, Lord Rama, Shri Rama, Tvam Shuddha Bodha Asi. Your pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure awareness. You see? So he addresses him. So he knows very well, he is not just my blood brother and we played together as children. No, he has recognized in him that he is the pure self, embodiment of perfection, the pure self. Tvam Shuddha Bodha Asi, your pure awareness. Not only that, Sarva Dehinam Atma Asi Adhishah Asi. You are the self of all beings. It is not your just pure awareness. You are the self of all beings. And not only that, you are Lord of all beings. Sarva Dehinam Atmaha Asi. You are the self of all beings. And then Adhishaha Asi. You are the Lord of all beings. So he is the pure awareness and the self of all beings and Lord of all beings. Nirakrutihi Swayam. Now he is the self of all being and he is the Lord of all being, and he himself is what? Formless. Now Lakshmana is seeing his brother's form in front of him, and then he is telling him, you are formless. You see, self, Tvam Shuddha Api Asi, Sarva Dehinam Atma Asi. Atma Asi. So Sarva Vyapi, self is pure consciousness that is all pervading, everywhere in all beings, the essence of all beings, that pure self. And that essence, that pure consciousness, that pure awareness, that itself enlivens all beings, not only enlivens all beings, but also illumines their experiences at the sensory level, at the level of the mind, at the level of the intellect. All the thoughts are illumined, all the emotions, feelings, and sentiments are illumined by that same awareness, pure awareness, that consciousness. So it is illumined everywhere, all the experiences. In fact, that is Atma Rama. That is our own self, Atma Rama. So, Tvam Shuddha Bodha Asi, Sarva Dehinam, Atma Asi, Adhishaha Asi, and then Nirakrutihi Swayam. Nirakrutihi Swayam, you are formless. So, now, Lakshmana is seeing his brother's form there, and yet he is addressing, he's telling him you are formless. Because if he has to be the self of all beings, that pure awareness, which enlivens all beings, that pure awareness, that pure illumining light, which illumines all the experiences and events of all beings. If he has to be all pervasive everywhere and the self of all being, he himself has to be formless. To be infinite, because form is sanketa, indication of limitation. Limitation of space, time, object, and causation, any form. So if he has to be all that, the self of all being and all that, then he has to be formless. Infinite cannot be with form. So infinite has to be always formless, all pervasive. Space is infinite. Space has no form. Any infinite factor has got no form. So, and that which is formless, if it is infinite, then it has to be formless, and that which is formless only can be all pervasive, not otherwise. So, Nirakrutihi Swayam, not limited. Nirakrutihi, formless, that means not limited by space, time, object, and causation. That is the real Swarupa. Now, Lakshmana is telling, he is saying to his brother, Lord Rama, Shri Rama. So, Nirakrutihi, he has understood very well. So, 14 years he was in Vanvasa with Lord Rama, serving him selflessly, purified his mind. And during these 14 years, he could closely observe Lord Rama. And having spent so much time in close proximity over all this time, he has understood very well who is Lord Rama, who is my brother Rama. He is no ordinary human being. He is Sakshat Lord Rama. So, Shuddha Bodha. Swayam. And then, Pratiyase Jnana Drusha Mahamate. Pratiyase, seen by those who are endowed with the eye of wisdom. Padabja Bhrungi Hita Sangha Sangina. So, those who are attached, they are attached. So, these wise people, those with the eye of wisdom, who can perceive this, these great Mahatmas. So, they are attached to the devotees who court his lotus feet like the bees court the flowers. So, like that. Pratiyase Jnana Drusham Mahamate. So, everybody seeks your refuge, your lotus feet, because they want to get liberated from their limited existence. So, Pratiyase Jnana Drusha Mahamate Padabja Bhunga Hita Sangha Sangina. So, Lakshmana has clearly understood who his brother is. And that is how he has approached, with reverence, with humility, with humbleness, with devotion, doing pranams. He doesn't barge into on him. Hi, what are you up to? Can I come and join you for some chit-chatting? No, that was not the approach. Now, having said that, in the next shloka, he says, Aham prapannosmi padam bhujam prabho bhavapavargam tava yogi bhavitam yathanjasajnanam paravaridhim sukham tarishyami tathanushadimam aham prapannah asmi padam bhujam prabho bhavapavargam tava yogi bhavitam yatha anjasa ajnanam aparavaridhim sukham tarishyami tatha anushadima. So now Lakshmana says to Lord Rama, Aham prapannah asmi. I am surrendering padam bhujam prabho. At your lotus feet I am surrendering. This is the approach. A disciple approaches his master, Sadguru, A disciple approaches with this approach. Total surrender. When do we totally surrender? Only when we have Shraddha completely. Without having Shraddha, we cannot surrender. So, aham prapannaha asmi padam bhujam prabho. So he surrendered. I surrender at your lotus feet. So he has surrendered completely. And for what he is surrendering? Bhavapavargam tava yogi bhavitam. Bhavapavargam tava yogi bhavatam. What is this apavarga? Bhava apavarga. To become apavarga. So apavarga is moksha, or release from limitations. Liberation from limited life. Liberation from the repeated cycle of birth and death. You see, bhava apavarga. That is no more getting into the bodily existence, continuously getting into this birth and death cycle. Bhava apavarga. Bhava apavargam tava yogi bhavitam. So he wants to, yogis also, now yogis get released from this limited existence. Yogi bhavitam, bhava apavarga. They get released from this limited existence. Limitations of space, time and causation, limitations of this body, bhava apavarga, and limitations of this repeated cycle of birth and death, bhava apavarga. Another meaning also we can take, apavarga. Pavarga can be among the Sanskrit alphabets. The pavarga is pa, fa, ba, bha, ma. So bhava apavarga, that means transcending this or liberation from this pavarga. Pavarga is what? Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. Pa is papam. Fa is phala, papa phala. Pa, pha, ba is bandhanam, all the bondages. Bha is different types of bhogas, and ma is moha. So getting relieved from, getting liberated from this bhava apavarga. So this also can be taken one way. This is the sansara. Total sansara is this only. Papa, phala, bandha, bhoga, and then moha. This is sansara. So liberation from this sansara, bhava apavargam, tava yogi bhavitam. So yogis contemplate upon you to get liberated from this limited existence, repeated cycle of birth and death. So this sansara can happen only in the limitations of time and space. Everything happens there. Everything is completely changing at every moment, and everything is all temporary, momentary. You see? So bhava apavargam tava yogi bhavitam. And then he says, yatha anjasa jnanam aparvaridhim. By which anjasa means instantly, quickly, instantly, very quickly. Everybody wants everything very instantly, very fast. Yatha anjasa ajnanam aparvaridhim. That means give me that teaching. Sukham tarishyami, where I can easily cross the shoreless ocean of the darkness of ignorance. Yatha anjasa, anjasa means quickly, ajnanam aparvaridhim, the shoreless ocean of ignorance. Sukham, sukham means easily, tarishyami, I can cross that, tarishyami, cross that. Tatha, tatha anushadima, that teaching you give me, by which I can quickly, instantly, very fast, I can cross this shoreless ocean of ignorance easily. So this is what Lakshmana has requested Shri Rama. Now, having said that, so now this, he has asked the quickest way. All of us want the quickest way. There is a difference between quickest way and quick fixes, temporary. So, no quick fixes, you see. Temporary solutions, no. This is the quickest way, but the permanent. We don't want any quick fixes. Temporarily, it will give you some peace, but after that, again, the thing returns. No, not that way. So here, He wants very clearly, he wants to cross the shoreless ocean of ignorance permanently. No quick fixes there. And that too should be easy to cross also, not very difficult. Now, having said that, what the answer is from Prabhu Ramchandraji, Lord Rama, having heard what he has said, then his teachings will come in the following shlokas. This we can continue in our next session. Now, if anybody has got any questions on the topic that we have covered, you can ask.
Swamiji, Hari Om. For the answer, we cannot wait until next Friday. because by your narration, our curiosity is at its maximum.
Yes, everybody wants a quick solution. So Lakshmana also asked him, Anjasa, instantly I should be able to cross this shoreless ocean of ignorance. You see? So anybody has got any questions?
If anybody has got the question, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Swamiji, when you started with this Rama Geeta, my impression that we are entering into the Dvaita. But it seems as you progressed, you are taking us to the same Advaita philosophy, pure consciousness.
That is why this text is not for the beginners. I told that.
Yeah.
It is only for those who have studied other texts also, Prakarana Granthas and other texts. It is a Vedantic text. It is not for the beginners.
But a study of 5-6 books that you have taken in last 18 months, Swamiji, has really has created a background or a foundation for us to understand this. It seems so.
That is very important. Without the Prakarana Granthas, we will not be able to grasp the text that will be Vedantic text that will be taken. So the study of the preliminary text is very important. Therefore, this text is not for the beginners. Rama Geeta is not for the beginners, Shri Rama Geeta. So that is for the Vedantic students who have done the study of earlier text. At least a few Prakarana Granthas who have studied, for them this is fine, not for others. So last 5-6 texts that we have taken, so has prepared us for this Rama Geeta also.
Any question from anybody? Swamiji, everybody is silent. Waiting for the next Friday to come.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Yes.
See, if Lakshman, being what we have learned from all these 5 shlokas which you narrated just now, if he was so pious and he has achieved so much, and when he can say that we want quickest means for going beyond the ocean of ignorance, and that also he being brother of Ram, he was all Sarvavyapi himself, so if we say that we want quickest means for going beyond the ocean of ignorance, you have to help us out.
The quickest means is knowing the self. Who am I? That is the only way to know that. And Lakshmana is no ordinary person. He is an Uttam Adhikari. We have to understand that also, because 14 years he was with Lord Rama in Vanvas, and 14 years was his tapasya. That tapasya prepared him very well for this ultimate truth. You see, so his antakarana is Shuddha. He purified his antakarana. So he is a highly qualified Uttam Adhikari for this knowledge. So he is no ordinary seeker or student, a disciple. So he is a fully qualified disciple. He's an Uttamadhikari. He can grasp it. So we have to know, we have to question ourselves, we have to introspect, and we should know that am I an Uttamadhikari? Have I prepared myself sufficiently? Everything is under control, the senses, the mind, everything is under control. Have I done enough to purify my mind? All these things we have to ask ourselves. You see? So then if we have not done that, then we have to do that. And then we have to come, then it will be anjasa, quickly.
Yeah, then we are really, I can understand where I am. No need of asking any question.
In actuality, it correlates to the initial verses of Vakya Vritti which we had done from there. Also, they had explained the same.
So this is for those. So we are already students of Vedanta, and we have done some studies, and therefore we will be able to grasp it. But how much are we prepared mentally also? The other, in Sadhan Chatushtaya, the fourfold qualifications are given there. Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampatti, Shama, Dama, Uparati, and then Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, and then Mumukshutvam. So how many of these qualities we have developed, and to what level? So that also we have to question ourselves, introspect, and find out whether we have enough Viveka, enough Vairagya, whether our mind is under control, whether our senses are under control, do we have forbearance, Titiksha, whether our mind is sufficiently withdrawn from the external world, whether we have Shraddha enough, and is there a contentment, Samadhana, and then do we have a burning desire for liberation, moksha, or by the way we want moksha? I'm going through all the other things. By the way, if I get moksha, that's fine. So is there a burning desire for moksha? So all these things have to be there. And then when an Uttamadhikari like Lakshmana is there, he can get very quickly. So he is asking his brother, Shri Rama, so tell me the quickest way so that I can I can cross this ocean of ignorance, shoreless ocean of ignorance, I can cross it quickly. So we have to introspect and find out where we stand. Each one has to do their own analysis. And if we are lacking somewhere, we have to develop that. In Viveka or Vairagya, or the control of the mind, or control of the senses, or withdrawal of the mind from the external world, or forbearance, Shraddha, if there is a lack of Shraddha, that we have to imbibe, and whether we have enough burning desire for liberation. So that is also there. Then all these things will happen. It's very good.
Long way to go, Swamiji.
Don't say long way, it can happen in instantly also. One moment. Because when we are saying that, we are the same thing. That absolute truth alone. Now we have seen that Lord Rama, when he described it, Lakshmana said, you are the self of all beings, Lord of all beings, self of all beings, Lord of all beings. Lord Rama is within us, our own Atma Rama. You see?
Yeah.
Just now we said it, isn't it?
Yes.
So we should be happy to know that.
Yes. Correct.
Swamiji, the entire game of spirituality is to turning our gaze from outward to inward, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what it is. From Bahirmukha, it has to turn to Antarmukha. That is called as Uparamati. Uparati or Uparamati. So that is part of Shat Sampatti. Our mind keeps going outside in the external world through the five sense organs. So this is the withdrawal from that. That is important. So, and then when we withdraw from the external world, more and more we can contemplate within on the subtler aspects spirituality. Then we can contemplate on that, on the higher reality. The more we do that, more closer we come. The understanding, the clarity is much better than what we understood. The same text, if we have studied, say, 5 years ago, and if we are studying now, what we understood then and what we understand now, there will be a great difference, because we have also evolved with the period of time. And because of that also, spiritually we have evolved. So our understanding is much clearer, that we didn't understand, which we didn't understand at that time, 5 years ago. Now we are in a better position to understand that. So we have a deeper insight into the same text, the same statement.
Anybody else? Chaya auntie? You want to ask anything?
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
So if we have nothing, no other questions, we'll conclude them.
Yes, Swamiji. I think we'll conclude now.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.